Today's Rose City Reader's book is The Curse Ends by Jeff Attinella, the story of the 2016 Chicago Cubs. I want to tell you a story one I still can't believe. It's the story of the Chicago Cubs of 2016. But before we begin, I want to revisit the past, back to 1908, when the Cubs won their last. Let the good times roll, all of Chicago thought. The Cubs will be great forever. All the tickets were bought. And then something strange happened in the year 1945. People at the game couldn't believe their eyes. At Game 4 of the World Series, a man's goat wanted a seat. But the goat smelled bad. It brought fans to their feet. "Don't let that smelly goat in," the people did shout. So the two were stopped at the gate and booted right out. "You will never win again," the man proclaimed aloud, and thus the curse of the billy goat fell over the crowd. Chicago was leading that series 2-1, but darn if the Cubs didn't lose. It was really no fun. For years, then decades, the curse seemed to hold true. As the Cubs kept losing, it was all they could do. Season after season, the lovable losers seemed destined to fall. "Someday the Cubs will win the World Series," became Harry Caray's signing off call. That was until one bunch gave the city hope, with a new batch of players, a GM, and a coach. So the fans put on their jerseys, their hats, and their gloves, and they headed down to the ballpark that we all know and love. Wrigley Field is the place, home of this team, the Chicago Cubs of 2016. The season is new, the city's all here, generations of families are ready to cheer. "Go Cubs go" blasts over the speakers as the Cubs faithful quickly fill up the bleachers. A place like none other. Ivy covers the outfield wall, the Cubs take the field, and the ump yells, "Play ball!" They're ready to go, this young scrappy team, thanks to a master plan by GM Theo Epstein. The coach was Joe Madden, a really positive guy. He told his Cubs to believe in themselves and to reach for the sky. Fowler led the way. He was fast as they come. He would steal every base. Man, could he run. Rizzo and Bryant had power, and both could flash their glove. They even signed Chapman, who threw 100 and above. Baez and Russell were young, but wow, could they play. Ross and Zabrist brought experience to show them the way. When Arrieta and Lester took to the mound, it all seemed to work. Plus Hendricks and Lackey had guys chasing pitches in the dirt. Even the team from St. Louis stood no chance at all. The Cubs reached 103 wins, the best team in baseball. They raised the W high above the city each night. That big white flag flying over Wrigleyville, what a glorious sight. They won the Central Division, and all our hearts too, then on to the playoffs to see what they could do. They took care of the Giants from San Francisco Bay. They handled the Dodgers, who hail from LA. And on to the World Series, where Cleveland would wait. Facing a drought of their own, the matchup seemed to be fate. Big hitter Schwarber worked hard to make it back from the DL, but even with his boost, things didn't start out well. After 4 games they trailed, and fans all started to worry. Down 3-1, the curse of the billy goat was back in a hurry. But this was a new century's team, not the Cubs of old. 2 big wins, and they were 1 win away from the gold. Game 7 in Cleveland was one of the best of all time. There was even a rain delay. Fans were losing their minds. Hayward rounded up his mates and told them to believe. He said, "This is our team, our city, our dream." The game went into extra innings, and Zabrist stepped onto the plate. A hit here, and the pain would be over. No longer would Chicago wait. A crack of the bat brought fans to their feet. The go-ahead run crossed the plate, bringing joy to West Addison Street. The bottom of the innings finally went to the Cubs' way. A third out with a smile would be the World Series final play. The curse was broken. The lovable loser ceased to be. The Chicago Cubs had won the World Series 4-3. 108 years was such a long wait. but it was all worth it. Oh man, was this great. That smelly Billy Goat would curse them no more, thanks to a 10th inning win, 8-7 the score. It was finally over, a feeling they couldn't believe. The Cubs were world champions the year 2016. Who's cursed now, Goat Boy?